record onto this. All right, let's give this a go. All right, I'm going to teach you a few more things because it's recording. So I'm going to teach you about base models. Because this is something I'm going to use. So I'm going to have a created at field that's going to be a models.datetime datetime field and created. So there's a thing that Django gives you that makes this really useful, which is auto now add. So when it's added, it'll put a timestamp in there, and then modified at equals models.datetime field.
What does the base model do?
I'll show you. Cool. And I'm going to put those there. That's going to be my thing. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, I need something else as well. Sorry, I need to put a class meta, and I need to say abstract equals true, because that means it's not going to make a, a table for it because it's an abstract. And so what am I doing? I'm putting comments. Do you want it to be comments, messages? What do you want to call it?
Comments.
Comments, and this is on the project, right?
Yes.
All right, so class comment base model. So I'm going to extend the base model, so it's automatically going to have created at, modified at in there. I'm going to have a message, or do we want body? Let's call it body. That's going to be a models.text field.
Does it have the order of like that you put your first part of the code right at the top, and you don't need that? I know they're separate, but and then are you putting this at the bottom? Is there any like logic to your ordering of this?
Yeah, there is. I'll show you why in a second.
Okay.
Author is models.foreign key, and it's going to be, did I import user?
User model.
Yeah, so I've got user up here. So user equals get user model. I like putting them, I like putting it up the top so you only ever import it once. So user, I just need to move everyone's faces over to a different part of the screen. Users, on delete, we're going to do models cascade. So these will get deleted if foreign key gets deleted. So that's fine. Wait, author. If someone deletes their account, should all of their messages be deleted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise you're gonna lose all the data, and then just like there's no
Well, this will delete
like
all
username attached to it. No.
Yeah, I think we just go models set null, because then you can go, all right, cool, it's going to be empty. Related name equals comments. Seems about right. And it has to be there, so it's not a null situation. So we've got an author, we've got created at, modified at, we've got body. Anything else? You just want comments?
I put data posted as well.
What about like, so they can't swear and stuff?
And the project relates to it as well.
Do we want to make it visible by default? That looks pretty good to me. So there's
Don't
going
you
to be,
put the project?
oh yeah, and it needs the project. You're correct. Maybe I'll move that up. And I'll put project at the top because that seems really sensible. Project equals models, foreign key. And the reason I've got it down here is because it needs to be below project because we're referencing project.
Oh, okay, cool. But what if, is this, when, you know the thing that Haley was talking about before, or someone was talking about before, that you can put in something so that people can't use like, you know, the N word or whatever. Is that something you can put into code at this point, or is that not in models? Is that in serializers?
I think that'd be in serializers, like a validator. Okay. I mean, you could put a validator in here. You can actually like do a def validate.
But it makes, it's more polite to put it in serializers, right? Because that's kind of what they do.
Yeah. It's the serializer's job to do that. You potentially might want that to be something you put into the data. For whatever reason, it's probably better to have it in the serializer. So that looks pretty good. So the project referenced, author referenced, body, visible, sounds good.
Yeah, project author body visible.
It might
And then you can explain to us, Ben, what the what's it, the base model means.
Oh, base model. So base model means that this, well, I'll show you, right? Like, let me do managed migrations. Oh, what? Wherever I move, everyone's faces from WebEx, I mean, from Zoom, is always in the wrong spot. Oh, okay. This is because I'm in the wrong directory. What's it called? Crowdfunding. /manage. What? How can manage not be in there? I'm in the wrong freaking window. That would make sense. Dev, what is this thing called? That, it's called that. All right, clear. Cool. All right. Category model serializer. That looks like I'm in the right place. And I've got the right thing activated. LL. I'm going to just move this down and I'm going to move this up because I can't see. Crowdfunding. Now it should work. All right. Okay, apparently not. Field specifies on delete set null, but can't be null. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, I hate that. It's writing that line between can it be null or can it not be null? I think if a user deletes their user account, then it should be null. So I think that's allowed. All right. So if we have a look at my migration that I just made, you'll see that it's got a created at and modified at, which have been added automatically because I've done this base here. Anything that I specify in this base model will be inherited by any of these by this. So usually what I do is I tend to have like, you'll have a created at, modified at, you know, maybe like a owner or something as a base model, and then everything else inherits that those fields. So you always know when it was created and you always know when it was modified. It's a very useful little thing. So that's what a base model is, and that's why I'm telling you about it. Cool. Comment. All right, I've imported comment and we're going to...
my user is squiggled and I don't know why.
Your user is squiggled?
Yeah, underneath the comments in the comment base model, when I'm typing in user.
That line?
I've got user. I have Django contrib auth import get user model.
Yep, line 4
Okay.
though on my screen.
User, don't have that, thank you.
Yeah, I just do it this way because you're going to use user a lot. And I picked that up from reading source code of Django and Django REST framework. They tend to put a user equals get user model up the top. So it just makes things easier. And, you know, stand on the shoulders of giants. If that's what they did, sounds good. I'm going to do it. So we've got serializers. I've now got a comment. So we're going to have a comment serializer, right? So project probably wants to know about comment serializer. So I'm going to just, I'm going to put it above this one. So class is comment serializer. And I'm going to change this to be a serializers.model serializer, which is an altogether different thing. And we're going to have a class meta. This is off the top of my head. I could be entirely wrong about how this works. Maybe I should look it up. Let's look at some documentation. DRF model serializer. It's always worrying when I open a browser window because I'm going to have to go back later and check to make sure that that there's nothing work related in my recently looked at. Hopefully there's not. Serializer classes, working with serializers, blah, 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 blah. Model serializer. Cool. Meta, yep, cool. Fields, cool. So model equals, what do we call it? Comment. And fields equals, which fields do we want from models? All of them?
May as well for now. I can always
Project,
change.
author, body, visible. Maybe not visible. What I'm going to do is instead of using fields, I'm going to use exclude. I'm assuming this will work, and I'm going to put visible in there. It's off the top of my head. Hopefully I'm correct. There's a couple of things that we need to do because it needs to know about these two foreign keys. So, well, actually, let's not do that just yet, and we'll just look at what happens off the bat. So now I've done that. I don't have to specify any fields because it's a model serializer. It's going to look at the model and it's going to realize there's fields here, and it's going to just make it happen, right? Cool. Does that sound good? Yes. Yes, Ben. That sounds great. Thanks, class. Right. Next thing I'm going to do is we're going to create a view for it, right? And we're going to use a slightly different thing as well here. We're going to use a generic. So rather than writing this thing out, this big thing here, we're going to use a generic. So I'm going to call this, what's this thing called? It is a comment list API. And I'm going to use generics dot, oh, generics isn't imported. Just give me a second. There we go. And I'm going to do a create API view. So this does some stuff for us as well. So just going to reference the Django tutorial because this is an excellent resource. And I'm going to scroll down to generics and I'm going to look here, query set serializer. Cool. So query set is going to be, what do we call this thing? Comment objects dot filter is all equals true. So I only want to see visible ones. Make sense? I'll take that as a yes. And serializer class is going to be, what do we call it? Comment serializer. I'm going to import that as well. So at the top, I've got models comment. I've got this guy here, comment serializer, and I've added generics to the REST framework. Added that one. Right, cool. And that's all we have to do. That's pretty easy. It's much easier than all of that.
So that do like get and post as and put.
I'm just going to grab this is authenticated or read only as well and put that in there. I feel like that's a good thing to add. Get post put, they're on the detail view. So if we want to do that as well, let's do that. Class is comment detail API, and that's a generics dot edit, retrieve, destroy, retrieve, update, destroy. And it's going to have the permission class of is authenticated or read only. Technically, you probably want is owner, but we want an is author or read only, probably. Query set is going to be pretty much the same one as this guy. Actually, these two things are going to be the same, so I might as well grab both. All right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we don't need to put, get object, all of that stuff, because this will take care of it for us. Hopefully, let's find out. Then we have to update our URLs. So I'm going to add a couple of URLs here. I'm going to do a path. I'm going to call this comment. This is just all comments, right? Use dot comment list API as view. And I also want to have a name equals. I'll put that in there because it's a habit of mine. Comment, and I'm going to have int colon pk. And this is going to be views dot comment detail API as view. And I'm going to have name equals comment detail. That looks all right. If I restart my little server that's running down the bottom, it's going to work. Looks like it does. If I open this, we've got a thing. Projects. Some projects. Let's have a look. So what was the URL I gave it? Comment. Comment. All right, comment has none. So I'm not logged in. Let me log in. Oh God, did I change my password? Yes, I did. God. All right, hang on. Let's go down here. Manage, change password. Is it set password? I'm just going to press enter, find out what it is. Set password, set password, set password, set create, change password. Manage, change password, admin. Oh. Can I wait? Let's have a look. Can I help? Does it allow me to force a bad password? No. Oh, you're so annoying. So I set my password and now I can't make it different. Oh.
This on the project where we did the change passwords templates.
Yeah, it's your fault.
But you can do it in the API in the browser view.
Yeah, except I got rid of that branch. So now I do it via that. And I've lost my good password, which was lovely. All right, so here we go. We've got a thing. We have a project. We have authors. My projects are really ugly. Let's just quickly fix that up because that's horrible. Why would anyone want that? So project. Def string self dot title. And that's better. Project one, got a bunch of them. Author.
What did you do that, Ben? Just show we added F string.
Yeah, def string. Dunder string just means that if it's converted to a string, this is what you do. So whenever someone uses string, so basically that's what it's doing, is it's saying string project. Right. And if you do string project, it does this. It gives you self.title. You could also do like def add. I don't know, goal or something. And so you could have like goal plus other, right? And then something like that. So you could then have like project 100, which would add 100 to your goal because you've overridden what add does. That's like, don't worry about that, but that's just a way of explaining what this thing is.
No, that's good to know.
Right.
That
Thank you, Ben.
gives it a nice web interface for that. So what do we want to do? We want to say like, hey, suck.
Beautiful poetry.
Oh, can I put known? I can put none. Post. All right. So there we go. We got our created. We got our modified. Slightly different, you'll see. Boom, boom, boom. Look good.
That's
And
great.
now if I go comment 1, you can see I can delete. I can also do a put where I change some stuff. What can I change? I can change all the things, author, admin. So probably don't want to be able to change other people's bits, right? So if we go to our views at this point in time, we probably want to create another permission here. Basically the same as this one, but instead of owner, we're going to change this to is, what do we call this? Author. And if object author, cool, done. Then I go back here, I'm going to add is authenticated or read only. Well, that's only a create, so you can create it. It's this one that needs the what do we call it? Is author or read only.
You need to import it.
What did I call it? Oh, read only has a capital O. Yep, from permissions. Cool. Now, if I reload this, it'll take away my ability to edit it because it's not mine. Make sense?
Yeah.
So this create here is going to do some stuff. So where's my classy class-based thing?
Delete that if someone puts it as null, because if even the admin can't delete it, then who's going to be able to delete that?
Oh, you want to be able to have admin as well?
Well, don't you think? Like, otherwise someone could just put null and then that fuck you stuck on your website forever.
All right. So is or request.user is super user?
Admin? Oh yeah, so super user, not admin. Okay.
That's an excellent question. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at users. We've got a users model, users, models, class abstract user, is staff, is active, username, date joined, get short name, get full name. How do you know if you're a super user? Oh, is super user?
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's what I was looking for. Why could I not see that in abstract user? It's very unusual. Yeah, it's interesting. I would have thought I'd see it in there. I guess it comes from this abstract base user or something. Anyway, or user is super user. So if user is super user, they automatically get access to it. All right, we've made that change. Let's go back, reload. I should have access to do deletes now.
Nice.
Cool. It's a really good question. Liked that. What else was I going to do?
I can have to go to work. So sorry, guys. Thank you so much, Ben. It was great.
You're very welcome. Oh, the other thing we had to do.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Ben.
The thing we had to do was override this create. That's what I was going to do. I'll record this, so I'll make sure the video gets posted.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Now, I want a classy. That's what I was looking for. So this is a list create, right? So let's just see what gets called here. Create, response serializer, request data, serializer is valid, do some stuff, create some things. I kind of want to be able to add the user to it. So maybe what we need to do is look at where this request data comes from.
Oh, like so the user can say, so you can see that this user is the one who commented or something?
Yeah, so.
Like when you write on Facebook and I like comment on a photo, it's like Tracy commented.
Yeah. So it should automatically pick up the user. You shouldn't be able to say which user you want to use is probably what I'm trying to say. So yeah. What I'm looking for here is a way to figure out those. So we could override it here. I'm not sure I want to. I want to get in before is valid. And so this serializer request.data. So does request data come through before now, or is that just where it happens? Maybe we do need to overrun this create. Just gonna, maybe we should just search this to make sure. DRF, what's this, a list create view or create list view? Can't remember which one it is. Create, list create. List create API view override fields. Request.user. There we go. Let's have a look at Stack Overflow. Yeah, go away. Serializer save, perform create. Oh, there's a perform create. Where was that in my list of things? Classy class-based views. Perform create. Oh, here we go. Serializer.save. Was this up here, this guy doing a perform create? Oh, it totally does.
Yeah.
Wow, there we go. Perform create, serializer save, serializer. All right, so we just override perform create. That's super easy. This is great. Why did we not know this? Perform create, sweet. And serializer.save, but I also want author to be equal to self.request.user, because it's always going to be that one. And then we might want to change our serializers here. And can we do a read only? Nah, we have to do a thing. So we might change that up here to be author equals, let's do one of those slug fields. I liked that. Serializers.slug. Slug related field, where slug field is username and read only is true. And what's it need? A query set is equal to, have I imported users in here? No, so I need a user equals get user model.
So that user equals get thing, do we have to put a capital U?
Yeah, I would, it's class. So it's getting the class, right? So
yeah,
capital U. Technically, it's kind of almost a global, so you would be forgiven for doing that as well, all capitals. Okay. I think for the sake of keeping things.
Are we use our serializers and our models and our URLs?
What was that?
Are we going to have that across like everything? The user equals
yeah,
get
probably.
user.
Yeah, you could also do like get user model dot objects, but I think that's ugly. I think
yeah.
I think this looks, it reads better. User objects all cool. Wants to break there. All right, so that's changed a little bit. Let's go back and have a look at our interface. Comment. Oh, it's broken. What did I do? Query set argument. Oh, apparently because read only equals true, I don't need to give a query set. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Get rid of that. Reload. And reload. Cool.
Okay.
So now we don't have that option. Leave a comment. Cool. We go back to all our comments and we have 1, 2.
Yeah, and now this way they can't just pick another random person.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to, which is much nicer.
So author here is admin. So if I go author, if I go to comment 2,
Now you can't do that null thing. So we actually probably don't even need that part of the code anymore.
why would that not work? Oh, do I have a known? Yeah, that's my fault. So if I go to URLs, probably should have a trailing slash on that. You know what? I'm going to put a trailing slash on that one too, because I like trailing slashes.
Yeah.
There's actually a setting you can set in Django to allow you to have optional trailing slashes. So, and now I can edit that. I can change which projects is on. I can change the message. I can delete it.
And they can't pick null now.
They can't pick. Well, you
Like,
can't
be anonymous.
Yeah, you can't pick null because yeah.
Like Instagram or something, you can't like post on Instagram without being from you.
Yep. Yeah, because we've overridden it in the view. So and we've also made it a read only in the
I think that's good because then people are like, you know, if they write something, it has to be from them.
Yeah. So what do you think of the model serializer as a thing?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of these. I'm also a big fan of these two. I think totally right that you learned how to do it longhand first, so you understand what it is you're doing. But I'm a big fan of using these when you're trying to do it in anger rather than trying to learn.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, there you go. That's generics. That's model serializers. Are there any other questions? We did some fancy permissions on it.
It's definitely share, because otherwise I've been typing as I started and then I stopped.
Oh yeah,
typing.
I'll put it. It's fine. I'll make a thing for it.
So is the the generics retrieve, update, destroy API view? That's the one that we would use for, would that be the one we mainly use for any detail view? So say if we wanted to just view like specific category details or specific any like other details, was that just the one that we would use?
Hang on, which was that one for the?
So the comment detail API.
Yep.
How you've used generics.retrieve, update, destroy API view. Is that the same one that we would use? So say if we wanted to view a category and all the products within that one category.
Yep. So this is the list. So list will do.
Yep, got the list.
Okay. But if you want to look at one individual and update it, or get the detail. So this is your detail view. That's why I call it detail. Yep. So it gets the detail, does the retrieve. It also allows you to do a put, which is the update, and a delete, which is the destroy.
What's like another way that you, besides like commenting, like, I mean, I guess you're trying to understand, is that Alex?
Yep.
Yeah, are you trying to, how else you could use this logic on your site or something?
Yeah, because like on my site, I want to have a area where they can go to view their categories, and then you click the category and it brings up a list of projects for them within that category. So they would obviously need a view for that. And because I created a generics list create view for the categories, it's just like, is that the same when we want to view it in detail?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly those two. Those two are basically the things. There's actually even fancier way to get around this. If you go to the Django REST framework and you do the tutorial, there's this amazing thing called view sets. And a view set essentially does all of them. And you don't need to go, here's my list, here's my detail. You basically just go like, cool, we're done. Like, this is it. Like, I'm just going to
got them all, but when I was doing them to just view like one category or view two category, but category, so category /1 or category 2, I was getting all of it. So I was just wanting to make sure I was using the right.
Well, maybe a URL is pointing at the wrong thing. So my comment int pk is going to the detail one, which is a retrieve, update, destroy. My one without an ID is going to comment list.
Yeah, I just had to change that because I didn't have the same. I was making the detail view.
Oh yeah, you might also want path like for say your category, it may actually be not int, it might be a string slug view. Now it's a little bit different.
Yep.
And so the
That's
way
okay.
you have to do that is a little bit different. Using a slug in the view set should be, this is my detail, or is this my list create? All right, that's my list create. Let's go look at detail, retrieve, update, destroy. This one does all of them, so it's a pretty good one to look at. So this lookup field here,
Yep.
PK, you want to change that to slug.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Yep.
In terms of things you have to look up URL quad. I think that if it isn't just that, you might have to change like one of these. Like that might have to be slug as well. So you might have to put these two as slug. It might just be this first one.
Slug. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Good to go.
What?
And do you share the code, Ben? Because I want to after this.
Yeah, I've pushed it to GitHub, so I'll show you in a bit. The other thing I was going to do was just update the serializers to make reference to that comment. So same way you do that, comment serializer, you go in here to project detail, and we'd go comments equals comment serializer, many true, read only, true, and then we'll be done. And we can go back, have a look. Let's go here, get rid of comment, and I go, was it projects plural? Project one should have, because I haven't actually gone to the project one. There we go. So author null. There.
Yeah.
Yep. So pretty straightforward.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
Thanks, Ben.
Another
I'm just
thing.
going to jump off now, so have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
The other thing you might want to consider is whether like you have a project one comment section, which defaults to always commenting on this. So you don't get to pick which project you're commenting on. You just goes to the one in question. Yeah,
right.
That is an interesting potential. I wouldn't mind playing with that. This might be a bit weird. How much time do people have? Do you want to learn another thing?
I have all the time in the world. I just have to update my code fast because I did miss a bit. So I'm just watching now mostly.
Yeah, well, watch, it's recorded. You can go over it. And also I've pushed it to GitHub. So we've got it. So the next thing you may want is, so we've got a comment serializer that's excluding visible, and it's doing a read only for author. Do I want to do that and then change a thing?
So is this when you're just, so you go into that project and you're on that particular project and you post a comment just for that project? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, let's have a play and do something weird like that. So technically what we're after here is we're just going to use a regular serializer. Project comment serializer.
Oh, you have to actually add in another class to do this.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a different thing, right? We're using a completely different setup. I'm going to use a proper serializer because this honestly is just going to have, or do I? No, let's use a model serializer. I'm going to do model serializer. Model serializer. It's going to have class meta. We're going to go model equals comment, and we're going to go fields equals body. Is that the only one I care about? Pretty sure it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Body. Oh. Cool. All right, so we've got a project comment serializer. Now, going interesting. So what I'm going to do here is actually, I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to have an author as well. No, I'm going to have all of the fields. I'm going to go the same. I'm just going to exclude. It's going to be the same as the one above. So I'm going to go, we're going to use all the stuff in the one above. So we're just going to go comment serializer, but I'm also going to have author is a read-only. What else?
So when you post a comment, you would want to have the date it was posted, the comment itself, possibly the user who's posted it, and like the body of it. I would say date time is really not that important, but most comments when you post to something, it's got a body, the user, and like the user body and comment.
It's really interesting because I'm kind of in the middle of all the things I might want. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to get rid of visible, and I'm going to get rid of project because we're going to get project from somewhere else. So we're not going to need project. So we'll ignore those two. I think that makes sense to me. Author is going to be read only. Sweet. So where we're going to go next is we're going to go to our views, and we're kind of going to duplicate comment list. And instead of this query set, this is going to be project comment list.
Oh, we don't need the comment list API. It's just project now.
Yeah,
like
serializer is going to be a thing. We need a there's probably a second thing we need, which is a def get query set. And this is going to be return comment dot objects dot filter and we're going to filter where project equals self dot. How do we? I want to get the parameter from it. I'm trying to remember how to get the param from it. It's been a long time. DRF create API view. Wait. List API view get PK from URL. A view set. So I'm going to tell me really quickly. No, what a pain in the ass. Get items, blah, blah, blah. Get. I don't want to override get. I think that's just an absolute pain. Maybe it's not. Maybe I should do it that way. Sure, let's do it. Def get, just get. I'm going to do get. I'm going to have that. I'm going to put a PK in here because we've got a PK. I'm going to go self dot PK equals PK. And then I'm going to go super return super dot get. So we're going to override get, and we're going to then basically run it as it would be. Yeah, I know. It's going to complain because I'm doing something that's not friendly. So
It's happy.
Yeah. Is that what they did? They did that. Is that sensible? Maybe, maybe not. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set this self PK thing here. I feel like there's a smarter way of doing this, and I might have to research this a bit more, but let's just try this for the time being. So serializer here, we're going to perform create. I want to get, I want to do like a, is there a get object? What's this thing got? Def get. How do you reference? There has to be a way of doing this. No, I want to go here. I want this one. Self query set lookup. If lookup URL quag in self quags. So self quags. All right, that's how it works. I don't need this. I figured it out. Cool. Get rid of this self get thing. All right. So we want to go get project def get project self. We're going to go return project objects get pk equals self dot quags get actually get pk. You get the primary key value from the quags. Get query set. No, let's do it here. Sorry, I'm very all over the shop. I've gone too far down a rabbit hole. Let's go back to where we were. That's where I want this. Get query set, comments.objects filter, get these things. So we're going to get all the comments for a particular one. And on perform create, we're going to do two things. We're going to go this, and we're going to say project ID. I wonder if it'll let me do this. Hopefully it will. Get that. Serializer save, serializer get. Cool, 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 cool. Cool. All right, so does that make sense? So we're going to just get the one project's comments, and when we create, we're automatically going to assign that project. Yep. Cool, cool. All right, we're going to go to URLs, and we're going to go project in. We're going to duplicate this guy. We're going to go project in comments. This is why having a last trailing slash is good. Comments, yeah, everything's plural. Let's do it. Project comment list API. That looks like what we're after. See what happens. What do you think? Is it going to work?
Hopefully.
Ooh, that didn't work. Comments.
Maybe because it's comments.
Look at that. There we go. Cool. Project one. Probably
Still choosing.
Need to take that out of there as a thing. So let's come back to our serializers. Just going to delete that. I'm going to clean this guy up just a little bit. Cool. All right, now I've done that, I can duplicate. We're going to go author. This is going to be project. This is a related primary key related field. Don't need that. Come back. I don't need that one now. I just need a read only. That'll do. Cool. All right, so we've got ID one, author, project one. We know which project it is. To be honest, we don't even need that field. I could actually exclude project completely. Oh, did I not? Oh, wait, what? Hang on, you're the wrong one. Totally put that in the wrong place. Project is excluded. Oh, I picked the wrong serializer. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. Let's reload that. Hey, look at that. All right, author, admin, stuff. Testing, posting. Cool. Raw data. Well, they're there now, and now we go bing and comments. And you get just the comments for that one. I reckon that's pretty good. That seems pretty smooth. That got a lot better than it could have been.
It's a lot there. That's just like, oh, would not think to use that.
Git status, cool. I've got this thing called pre-commit that I'm playing around with, which does formatting. Cool, git status. So it's changed serializers and views. So if I go to my serializers, somewhere in here, it's changed some formatting somewhere. Oh, let's put this on multiple lines again. The thing I took off multiple lines is put back on multiple lines. There you go, git status, git commit -m. Added API. Boom. And there was somewhere in here, a little bit up here, where it was like, make a pull request. So let me make a pull request. I might just maximize that so it's not showing work documents in the background. And create. Files changed.
Nice.
And there you go. Now you can have a look at all the things that matter. You probably don't care about my migration. So that's all the code.
Yay.
And I'm going to stop recording.
We posted the chat today because